Jonathan is out today. He's up there shooting at the Sporting Clays event for the Children's Home and having a great time up there, as we all are outside today. It's a beautiful day, partly cloudy. Wind's kicked up a little bit, but it's nice and cool, and it's going to be a great day to head out here to the Strawberry Festival. Take a look at some of these beautiful Arctic cats that G5 Outdoors has brought out here for you to peruse and look around on. Don't forget, you mentioned the Big and Wild Outdoors, and you'll get $500 off of any one of these beautiful models that you see out here, from the side-by-side trail to the Sport to the Alteras and the UTVs and the little 4x4s, whatever you need, it's all right here for you. And we're going to be out here hanging out afterwards because Strawberry Shortcake is calling my name.
Yeah, I'm going to stick around till probably at least noon or so, or get real busy and hang out with Mr. Mike and see if we can't help talk somebody into this great time so I can go out and ride with them.
Exactly. Yeah, but you don't have to talk to anybody or anything. Once you get one of these, like you said, you'll be looking for stuff.
Talk about that. Talk them into letting me ride with them.
Well, that'll be a lot of fun. On the phone, we got Dean. Is Dean on the phone? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Dean, how you doing this morning, Dean?
I'm doing good. Doing really good.
Yeah. That's great. You know, Dean, I want to introduce, do you want to use your last name or not? Or
Yeah,
that's
fine. That's fine.
All right. So give us the pronunciation of your last name, because we got Frazier and we got Frazier.
Frazier.
Yeah, I knew it was like the fighter. It's like the big Holmes. It's the big
Yeah,
Holmes.
original spelling, the last name Frazier. So yeah, it's a little different. But
Now, the reason why we have Dean on the phone, if you didn't hear hour number one, and we were talking about how a lot of our duck hunters are going through really bad processes out in Orange County, out there in other areas in the central part of the state of Florida, with people complaining. And people saying, oh, are they making up stories, or saying, hey, I got shot raining down and landing in my coffee. Well, Dean, smart man that he is, he's a big-time fisherman in Pinellas County. And there was a viral video that's actually gotten a lot of play on Facebook because of his encounter with a gentleman while he was out freshwater fishing. You want to go into detail and tell us exactly what happened, Dean?
yeah, well, I mean, here in St. Pete, there are a lot of lakes that are no fishing. You know, and there's not many bass lakes, and I do a lot of saltwater fishing. But I found this lake where I caught my personal best bass, 8.5 pounds, and I was fishing, and after work, and all of a sudden this guy comes up to me and goes, oh, you can't fish here. I looked around, and it wasn't the first time he said that to me. The first time I just left right off the bat because I didn't want to have any issues. And then I came back because I wasn't doing anything wrong. There's no fishing signs. So I'm fishing this area, and this guy comes up, I'm going to call the cops on you. I said, sir, you know, I'm not doing anything wrong. There are no fishing signs. You know, I'm sorry, but I'm not doing anything wrong. So he calls the cops on me, you know, saying it's a police emergency and everything. And, you know, at this point, I'm just getting irritated. So I just stand there. I was already recording because I have a YouTube channel that I post these videos to. So I just decided to keep on going with it. And, you know, I'm just standing there. I'm not being rude to him. You know, I'm irritated, but I'm not, you know, I'm not cussing him out or anything like that. And he calls the cops, basically keeps on telling me there were signs here saying no fishing. I'm part of the homeowners association, you know, and we say you can't fish here. And I said, sir, I'm across the street. There's no homes on this area. It's just this little wide area of grass next to a golf course, but it's not on the golf course. The golf course people have never kicked me off, and I've fished there a little while. You know, I've been there before. I've had no issues except for this guy. So he keeps on saying people like you have taken the signs down. You know, you're not supposed to fish here. I'm part of the homeowners association. You can't fish here. So I'm like, sir, I didn't take any of the signs down. There are no signs here right now. You know, if there were signs, I would leave. I'm not doing anything wrong. What would you rather me be doing? You know, I could be, you know, doing something. Yeah,
I thought that was one of your best lines in the whole video, because you were very polite to the guy, and, you know, you're like, hey, there's no signs here. I've fished here before. What's the big deal? And it was so funny how his response was that no matter what was going to happen, you were going to leave. And that it was funny because you can hear him in the background saying, yes, it's an emergency.
Yeah.
And he's called the cops, and I've never seen St. quickly
that
in my
quick.
entire life.
Yeah, that's what surprised me. You know, I'm thinking it's going to be 10, 15 minutes at most, or at least, and he's there within 5 minutes. And
No, he was there in like 3 minutes. 3 minutes he was there, whoop, pulling in there like, I think he reported and said, yes, it's emergency. He's out here fishing with an AK-47.
that's what it was like. I mean, and then he's sitting there going and describing me, and he goes, yes, I have a white male. He's about 17 or 18. I'm like, dude, I'm 20. You know, I'm saying that. Oh, he's about 5'10", 5'11". I'm 6'2", sir. You know, I was just going along with it. I knew I wasn't doing anything wrong. At this point, I was kind of irritated.
Well, you know, you're one of those spike fishermen. I tried to describe it to Glenn. I told him you were calling a little earlier, that you always see around Pinellas County, and it's very big. You know, beach cruiser guys with their, you know, their rod holders on the back, and they have their backpack tackle boxes. They go around all over and fish because that's how you get into a lot of these really cool little spots.
Exactly.
But I wanted to ask you, because do you find that a lot in Pinellas County? Because I've run into it numerous times on a couple of lakes around the area.
Well, I've seen it before. I don't know of any, like, one besides me specifically who does it. But the reason I do it is because I was in a moped crash back in November, and I had a moped that I put all my fishing stuff on. So I'm sitting here, I work, I ride my bike to work, and I bring my fishing pole to work every single day. My backpack has all my fishing gear and my personal stuff, so I just carry that around with me everywhere. When I'm off of work, I go down and go fishing, and you know, when I'm on my break, I go fishing. You know, that's just what I do. So I just had my stuff, and I just got off of work at 5, and I'm like, you know, I'm just gonna go fishing for a bit. And I do that, you know, every, you know, Monday and Tuesdays are my days off. I just get up at, you know, 4 or 5 in the morning, ride down to Fort DeSoto, you know, about 8 or 9 miles, and I go fishing for the morning. You know, that's just what I do. So I've been doing that for a while now. So whatever means necessary.
So what was the final outcome? I've not seen the video, so what was the final of it all?
Well, basically, the cop came out and he said, you know, first off, he wouldn't shake my hand. I went to go shake his hand, you know, introduce myself, and he just like backed away and put his hands up. You know, I don't, you know, he said he had a cold, but you know, whatever, you know.
Maybe he did.
Maybe he did.
Maybe he did, but
Still,
Well,
but
you didn't want your fishy hands on his hands.
but yeah, you know, he basically said that the homeowners association didn't own that part of the property, which was the issue in the first place. You know, the dude had no right to say anything. Pretty much as soon as the cop started talking, the guy said, "Okay, you got this," and he left. So the cop, the cop told me, oh, the guy was carrying around a golf club too, so that was awesome. But I kept my distance. But no, he basically said that you know, he's not exactly sure whose property it was. He said he thinks the city owns like 6 feet off into the grass, and the rest of it is owned by the golf course. So he said, technically, I can't tell you to leave, but because he doesn't want to have any issues with this guy, he wanted me to leave anyway. So, you know, at this.
It's funny because I was going to say what's funny is because the way he described it is, if you stood on that 6-foot strip of land and cast it across the property,
yeah,
you can almost fish that way. You know
exactly.
what I mean?
And at this point, I'm just like, you know, whatever. You know, I don't want to tick this guy off anymore today. So I just didn't feel like fighting. So I just left and went somewhere else. But yeah, I'm just like, the dude, he had no right to say to me, you know, leave. You know, and most of the comments I've been getting back on this video have basically been, you know, in Florida, it's, you know, you're not supposed to harass someone who's legally fishing or hunting. And, you know.
That's true.
So.
Anti-harassment laws.
Yeah, and I could have, you know, pushed the issue, you know, pushed the envelope, but, you know, I really didn't want to have any more issues with the dude, and I had a long day at work, so, you know, it was one of those, you know, whatever, I'll fight another day sort of thing. But.
Okay.
Well, that's the unfortunate thing. There's so much people moving in, and, you know, they do pay to live on the water, and then, of course, they don't want you to have access, and they don't want you to enjoy it, and they don't even fish.
They don't fish.
No.
That's what kills it.
Not at all, and I mean, I caught an 8.5-pound bass out of this little pond, And I was like, oh, awesome, there's a bunch of fish. You know, they're really feeding well. I caught a few before he came over. He's not even on that property. He's across the street. You know, I don't know what the issue is. So, but...
Well, you know, it's sad that a lot of that goes on, not only here, but Glenn and I have talked about some of the great retention ponds that we used to be able to fish, you know, over in Hillsborough County or even in Pinellas County that, you know, you've been fishing them for years, then all of a sudden some guy comes walking by with his chihuahua going, hey, you can't be over there. You can't be over there fishing, buddy. And you're like, dude, I've been fishing here since 1976.
Exactly.
I can't do it anymore. You know,
Exactly.
and it's sad.
Don't put up the fishing pole. Go ahead and keep fishing. Maybe,
Yeah, man.
You know, do a little more research. Maybe get with the golf course and get them to allow you access, and then it eliminates it. But you know, you're doing something that's not illegal to start with, but you have to go extra hoops in order to keep that pressure off of you. But
You know, I came up with a good one because I saw somebody made a comment on your webpage about getting permission from the property owner, not just the HOA, but the property owner or whatever. And I know that's a tough thing to do, but there's a sneaky way to do it. When you go in there and you do some volunteer work for the HOA, and then put in really tiny small print some indemnity in there, it says, after the job is completed, I'm allowed to fish the property for the next 16 and 17 years. And then when they sign it, then you have written permission to go.
Ah, that's an idea I didn't think about. That's a good one.
I'm a sneaky sucker, man. We'll talk. Well, Ian, thanks for the call, man. We got to get out of here and take a break, but we'll talk this week, all right?
All right, man. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you, man.
All right.